So in this video, I am going to explain the solution of this question which was recently asked in Codeforces 909 rated for Division 3. So first, let us understand the problem statement. So the name of the problem is Yarik and the Array. So what problem said that I have to tell what is the maximum sum of subarray such that every adjacent pair in the subarray have a different parity. Okay. For example, if I am having a subarray like 1 to 3, then this is acceptable because parity of 1 and 2 is different and parity of 3 and 2 is also different. But this is not acceptable because you can see in here the parity of 2 and 4 is same. So I will not consider, so I cannot consider this subarray, right? So I have to tell them what is the maximum sum of subarray in such case, right? So for solving this question, I am using a DP approach, but there can also exist a simple greedy approach like cadence algorithm by modifying some parameters. But I have simply used the DP, so I will tell you all. So I will tell you the DP states, right? So first of all, my DP function would look like this. So if this is my DP function, then the first number would depict as index, second number would depict as last number parity. So which numbers I have picked up the last, this will represent the parity of that number. Then again another number which represent the pick not pick. I will tell you later for this part. And last is my array only. You can I write here array only, right? So this is my DP function would like. So what does it means? So first of all, I will tell you the pick number. So if my pick is 0, which means I haven't chosen any of the number before, right? Which means I haven't chosen any of the number before, which means I can start here a new subarray from this point only. So if my first state is like it, if my pick is equal to 0, which means there is no number which I have chosen before that, right? So in this case I will make two walls. First is pick and first is I will took the current number, second is I will not took the current number. So if I pick the current number, then the value would be array of I plus, then what would my function would look like? Simple function would look like I plus 1 comma last parity. So what does here last parity means? So this is the parity of this number only, which means parity of a of I, right? I will simply write here p only for parity of this, parity is of this number, right? Parity of a of I. Then what is another number? See, you can see if I resend the big zero, which will represent I haven't chosen any number before, because you can see in this case I am choosing a current number. So if I am picking a number, then I simply pass on one here. This will represent there is some number which I have picked from the last number index, right? And the array. So what is the another call? Another call would be look like not pick set. So what is a not pick set? Not pick set is simply like my function, because here I will not add any number because I am not picking the current number, so I will not add it also. So I will simply add I plus 1 comma parity. You can see here parity last parity doesn't matter because I am not picking the number at all. So I can simply give any number here. So let it be p only for current scenario. And what is a pick here? So here you can see I am not picking any number, which means for next states there will be also a case for pick and not pick also, which means I will again send 0 here because I am not picking any number, and 0 means because 0 means I haven't picked any number before. So I will see here again send a only. Then here my array, right? So if I write you here only, if my pick is 1, which means I have chosen a number. If my pick is 0, which means I have not chosen any number before. So there is also another set which means pick is 2. Pick is 2 matlab I have chosen a subarray already, which means I have already done with choosing a subarray, right? So means subarray done, and this means I'm inside the subarray which I am currently increasing or not increasing. That's up to me, which means I'm inside the subarray. This means and I have not started the subarray, and this means I have over my subarray, which means I have chosen all the numbers which I want to for the current state only, right? So this is for pick is equal to 0. So if I elaborate more, if my pick is equal to 1, which means I am in a process of choosing a number, right? So if I am in a process of choosing a number, then I simply have a state like this pick. But there is a condition for pick, which means I have to simply check the last parity is not equal to current parity. So if my last parity, this is last parity, is not equal to parity of A of I, right? Then I will simply make a pick state. And what is a pick state? Pick state will simply represent A of I plus simply what will I be passing function I comma last parity or this parity. Then now I will send the parity of this number. Here I will send parity of this number. And you can see if I am picking the current number, which means for next call also, I can again pick a number or not pick a number. So I will simply pass here one only and a last array A. So this is a whole set. But if there is also case, if I am done with picking all the subarrays which I want to, then I will simply give a not pick set. Simply not pick set would like. So this is all a function of would be look like f comma I plus 1, and again I will simply pass, I will again pass anything here, which means because it doesn't matter which I am taking or not picking, because in the next I will not pick any of the number, because you can see pick means I'm inside the subarray, and if I am not picking any number while in the array, which means I will not pick any number after that index also. So right, if I am picking this number and there is another number there, so if I have a choice if I pick this number or not pick this number. So if I pick this number, the next number I can pick also because it is a subarray. But if I not pick this current number, then I cannot pick any of the number after also. Then here you can see for representing dash set I will simply pass on 2, right? In the pick array you can see this is the pick, which means my subarray is done, right? And what the last call would look like? Then last call would be simply look like my pick is equal to 2. So if my pick is equal to 2, then I simply not pick because you can see my subarray. Again I will simply pass it to the next function, simply like that only. Here I will not add anything. And the and of in these are the portion I will simply return the maximum. In also in these two function call I will return the maximum. So if I show the function code, so this is pretty much simple solution. Wait a minute, right? So if my d is equal to 0, d is equal to d is here simply pick only. So if my d is equal to 0, which means I haven't picked any subarray before, or means I have not picked any of the number before. If I have not picked any of the number before, then I will have two choices. If I am picking the current number, then I will simply add AFI in that number and pass the parity of current number and simply pass on 1, because you can see in the next year I can simply considering picking the next number also. So I will simply pass on 1 only. But if I'm not picking the correct number, then I will simply pass 0 only to the next function also and simply return the maximum both. But if my d is equal to 1, which means I'm in between the subarray, which means I'm in between the process of picking a subarray, right? So what is the condition for picking a current number? If my last parity is not equal to current parity, you can see I am checking the condition. If this condition is true, then I simply pass the current number to my current function, and I simply pass the current parity of current number to the next call and simply pass on 1, because I'm in between the process of picking. So I will simply pass on 1 only. But if I'm not picking, which means I'm breaking the continuous part of subarray from which I was picking earlier. So if I'm breaking that part, then I simply pass 2 here, right? What does the 2 represent? 2 simply represent then I will not pick any of the number after that, including the current index also. But if my index is not equal to 2, which means I'm outside the process of picking any of the subarray, then I simply pass the current index to the next number, or I will not add anything in this function call. So what is the complexity? So complexity would be equal to n into 2 into 3, right? Because this will not increase that number also, because parity is only 0 and 1, and d represents 0, 1 and 2 only. So this is the whole function and solution of this question. If you like the video, please don't forget to subscribe my channel. Till then, stay tuned for the next one. Thank you.